they did. And what I ended up finding through that, a 19-year-old kid, what he was able to give me that no one else had in the past, not the military, not the VA, not any therapist, was within veteran community. Our biggest problem is that we're stuck in the past, so we're depressed about the things we've lost, the people we've lost, ourselves we've lost, and then we're stuck in the future, scared to death of the 99 out of 100 women that are going to say no to a date to us. I mean, things that are going to, go wrong. And so the problem is this inability for presence. Kind of back up a little bit, I've skied since I was 7 years old. I have an unhealthy lack of respect for fear, especially on skis. And every year I come and do these rookie camps, snowboarders would say, hey, yeah, Jesse, Ranger Jesse, whatever the various things they would call me, you need to come out and go snowboarding with us. I'm like, that's nice. I'm not perfect at it, so no, that's not gonna happen. I said, I'll come out on skis and I'll ski around you little circles, but not gonna get on a snowboard. So this last year I go out there and I meet these two young kids, Jason Woolley and Lucas Foster. They come up to me afterwards, and this is the first year that I started talking about mindset and the ability to quiet your mind and slow your mind down, especially in a competitive environment or a firefight. These two athletes come up to me, both of them 18 years old, and they're like, hey, that really spoke to me, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I really believe you, but okay, let's see how this plays out. They're like one of the snowboard halfpipe teams, not just snowboarders, but on the halfpipe team. So as far as you can possibly get away at that point in time, in my mind, for an Army Ranger and an Olympic athlete. And so Jason Woolley and Lucas Foster decided to come out and do base visits and work with me for a couple days. And taking them out to the VA, taking them out to Fort Carson, ends up meeting about 300 active duty soldiers, signs autographs for about 500 members of the VA. He met one of the 4 surviving World War II veterans in Colorado 4 times because the gentleman forgot Lucas each time, and so he kept coming back to get another autograph. And so I'm watching the impact of this 18-year-old kid, he may have been 19 at the time, of him taking up his time, a guy that never went to Ranger because his classroom has been the halfpipe. And I'm watching this, and so at the end, and this story may be a little bit convoluted, but I'm the one that gets the opportunity to tell it. And so the offer came for me to come out for opening weekend at Telluride, where he trained out of. And I went out there, and I did not bring my skis. And when I remember when I showed up, he's like, where are your skis at? I'm like, Lucas, I didn't bring them. I'm gonna be on the board with you. And so he gets me outfitted with the same exact Solomon Huck knife that he rides. And now keep in mind, I've got him, his personal coach at the time, Jason Cannon, an Olympic caliber athlete himself, and Cherokee Sandoval, one of the athletes that's up and coming within the snowboard community. And I got about 6 hours of 3-on-1 instruction from those guys. Now, I don't care how bad of a snowboarder you may be, when you've got that ability, things happen pretty dang quick. And I was all of a sudden hooked. So fast forward, it's maybe been about 4 months. I went riding 42 times this year, which I think there's 3 athletes actually that I got on the snow more than they did. And what I ended up finding through that, a 19-year-old kid, what he was able to give me that no one else had in the past, not the military, not the VA, not any therapist, was within veteran community. Our biggest problem is that we're stuck in the past, so we're depressed about the things we've lost, the people we've lost, ourselves we've lost, and then we're stuck in the future, scared to death of the 99 out of 100 women that are going to say no to a date to us. I mean, things that are going to, go wrong. And so the problem is this inability for presence. And when I got on that board, there's no better way for a guy like me to stay present than to be ripping down the mountain with a guy like Lucas Foster or his coach, J.J. Thomas, 2002 Olympic bronze medalist, underneath the chairlift with all the adoring fans that I'm sure are focused on me and not them. And you don't just completely wipe out. And that's what a 19-year-old kid gave me, was he gave me presence. And then now I get to sit back and be a cheerleader for him. And one of the greatest memories I have from him is I wanted to see him at Copper Mountain through me in one of his pro-level Solomon Huck knife snowboards. So my first snowboard is going to be the equivalent of giving me a Dodge Viper at 15 and a half years old to learn how to drive on. And that's what I've been riding all year. So he brings me up to Copper Mountain. He's all excited for the Toyota Grand Prix, the first race of the year. And all of a sudden, as I'm getting ready to leave, he says, hey, Jesse, Rangers lead the way. And for a 19-year-old kid to be able to say that, he had no idea what was going on with me at that time, but there was some rough stuff. For him to say that at that moment in time, I suddenly realized, you know what? It's not the government that's going to bring down the 22 veterans a day that kill themselves. It's not doctors that are going to do it. It's going to be normal, above, extraordinary Americans like Lucas Foster, Jason Woolley, and their coach, who I affectionately call the Beacon, J.J. Thomas, who's already set the standard for us. So more importantly than being able to share with you guys what I just did, I get an opportunity to bring these two guys up on stage. And the first one you're going to hear from is future Olympian, in my mind, future podium member in my mind, Lucas Foster. He's a 19-year-old member of US Ski and Snowboard on the Halfpipe team. And now I call one of my dear friends right here.